What's up, tribe? How you guys doing? Go ahead and hit that subscribe button. I hope you like this video. Once again, hello to all my new subscribers, you guys. I'm loving this. Oh, my bad. I had my timer on because no, that's not my timer. That's somebody texting me. Anyway, sorry about that. I thought I had my timer on because I was doing something and I didn't want to go too long doing it, but that's something totally different. Anyway, this is just gonna be a quick drop on about the Queen Supreme Court last night. I love the Queen Supreme Court. I love me some T.S. Madison, and her guest judge last night was somebody that I love as well, Guardini. In full disclosure, aka the real Rick Rosa. In full disclosure, I do like Guardini. You know, in other reviews, some of her co-hosts, I don't know who they are. I'm like, I never heard of them before, so I could be really biased. I'm just gonna, in full disclosure, I don't know Guardini. Like, we're not best friends, hang out. But I do review a show that he's on YouTube called Chasing Atlanta. And we have corresponded, you know, through DMs or whatever. So let me just be honest about that up front. Now, with that being said, here's my little 2 cents on that. It's going to be just a little quick drop about last night's show. It was entertaining. Okay? Y'all know sometimes I'm like, it wasn't that great. Maddie had to carry the show. It was not that. It was last night's show was very entertaining. I did watch it all the way through because sometimes I don't make it. I ain't gonna lie. I watched it all the way through. Some of the topics that first of all, Maddie looked really cute. She had a little ponytail action working with her wig last night. It was really cute or whatever. Of course, she had the girls on full display and it was cute or whatever. Guardini was in his full I don't know what he calls it. I don't know if it's androgyny. I don't know if it's drag. I don't know if it's a costume. So I'm not meaning to be disrespectful, but he wears the full beard he gives you a bad pink lip, honey, and he usually has a bob. So he had a blonde bob on last night, okay? He gives you a bad lip, okay? And Guardini actually has a very interesting story. I need to check it out. He's done other interviews. But he is he became Vine famous or YouTube famous doing Rick Ross videos. So that's why he's called the Rick Rosa, like parodies and stuff like that. And so he does parodies. So, and he is known as being messy. On the television show, he is messy. If you go back and look at that reunion, he's messy. Matter of fact, I could not stand him in the beginning. I was like, this messy bitch. But last night, I feel like his intent was whatever everybody else was saying, he was going to go left. If everybody said right, he was going to go left. No matter what the topic was, he was going to argue the affirmative or the negative, right? No matter what it was going to be, he was going to find the opposite argument and he was going to make it. We started off talking about Billy Porter. Honey, I live for Billy Porter and that daggone gown he wore to the Oscars. Are you serious right now? Guardini ain't like it. And he said, had that been anybody else, it wouldn't have been a thing. But because it was Billy Porter, it was a big thing. And I'm like, well, first of all, up until recently, Billy Porter was not outside of certain circles, Billy Porter was not a common name. It is really within the last year you start seeing him, in my opinion, again, y'all, I'm sure if I'm wrong, y'all gonna let me know in the comments. And again, I didn't say Billy Porter was not well known. I did not say Billy Porter was not very accomplished. I said outside of certain circles. That's what I said. So make sure y'all understand what I'm saying. I've loved Billy Porter for a very long time. And when I tell you that I love all the looks, if you pay attention to Billy Porter, especially during this award season, he's giving it to the girls every time. Now, this Oscar look was just something, I just must bow down to it. So, Guardini, I must disagree with you on that, honey. I live for that. It was everything. Everything. Even if you don't know anything about ball culture, even if you don't understand that he was paying homage, even if you understand none of that, that gown was everything. Now, then we talked about Jussie Smollett. And Maddie's thing was, look, I'm going to hold off because every day is some new information. Every day something changes. Now we're finding out that the stuff that the police chief was saying may or may not necessarily have been accurate. He may have been misquoting some things or misstating some information. So, at this point now it's looking like there may be a legitimate alibi as to why Jesse gave these people this money. I don't know. We know you could put anything on a memo line. They were arguing about whether a trainer costs $3,500. Yeah, a trainer can cost $3,500 depending on what that trainer is doing. If the trainer is working you out every day, if the trainer is giving you a meal plan, if the trainer is holding you, is doing accountability type services, absolutely it could cost up to $3,500. And again, we don't know if that $3,500 was for 1 month or 6 months. So if you break that down, if you say, okay, they're paying me for 3 months and it's meal planning, from some of those texts that they put out there, it looks like there's some accountability coach going on. Oh yeah, they charge, and especially when you're a celebrity, of course they're gonna charge us because you're somebody there and they think you got the money. So $3,500 is a lot of money for me to pay for a trainer, but it's not necessarily a lot of money to pay for a trainer if somebody is training you, every day and adding in all these extra services, whatever. And of course, Guardini was like, whatever, please. He guilty. He did it. And he was giving all his reasons why he felt that way. And a lot of people feel like Jesse's guilty. So, there's that. They talked about the Kardashians, honey. They all both of them let the Kardashians have it. Okay, they let the Kardashians have it. Okay, as they should. As they should. And neither one of them said they had any sympathy for the Kardashians, and neither do I. I don't have no sympathy for nothing that happens to none of them. And not that I wish bad on anybody, but especially when I shouldn't say nothing. I have no sympathy when it comes to relationship stuff, okay? I ain't gonna say nothing because, I ain't trying to put nothing out there like that. But, Chloe, you started dating Tristan when he already had a pregnant girlfriend. So, do I feel some kind of way that he cheated on you while you were pregnant and then no. Is it nasty, dirty? Is it disrespectful? All of the above. Check, and check. I ain't got no sympathy for it. Same thing with, Kim Kardashian, she coming after Fashion Nova, talking about they stealing from, Kanye. Fashion Nova steal from everybody. That's what they are. That's what their brand is. Their brand is, they specialize in allowing people who don't have the couture budget to look like and feel like they're wearing something special that looks like what Cardi B would wear. That looks like what, Rihanna would wear. Like, that is what they do. That is their brand. So, it is what it is, honey. Of course, they talked about Wendy Williams. She was going to give it to Wendy. But basically, Wendy better get her ass back to work. Yeah. What else they talk about? They, Guardini said his little 2 cents about the whole Gucci thing. Now, I know that Guardini does do fashion design. So, his thing is, fashion is art, and if that's how Gucci chooses to express their art, then let them express their art. Again, that's your opinion. I don't agree with it. But that is certainly your opinion to feel that way. Now, overall, this is what I'm going to say. I love you, boo. I want to say that, and I don't know how much of this was Guardini just wanting to live up to his whole moniker of being messy, right? Or how much of it was really truly where he was coming from and how he was feeling. The one thing I would say, first of all, y'all know I always rate it. So yes, Guardini, I absolutely would say that Guardini should come back to the show. I even think that maybe Guardini would be good at some of these live shows because he definitely knows how to play for the camera. Again, if you look at some of his parody videos, he knows how to give you a performance, honey. So I absolutely think that Guardini did really well last night. I feel like he hung in there with Maddie a couple of times. Maddie zinged him, and he, it wasn't nothing he could say. Maddie said something about his check clearing and a few things. And Guardini knows how to make fun of himself. So, his thing is scam, recognize scam, because he's writing a book about it. So, they had a really good banter. You could definitely tell that there's a friendliness there. I don't know how deep their relationship is, whether they're friends or they just know each other or have friends in common. I do know they have a few friends in common, but they may very genuinely be friends. But they definitely had a good banter back and forth among them. I'm just going to say that I think some of Guardini's facts were not always right. A couple of things he talked about they had to correct him, or I'm listening to him and I'm like, that ain't right. But nothing major enough that it took away from the show, and certainly nothing major enough that I would be like, don't do that. Guardini, don't bring him back on the show. Not at all. It was all in fun. It was all about gossip. It was all about, that's what we do. And we don't always have, like even when I do my stuff and I have my lives, I don't always have the right information sometimes, and I got to go back and correct myself. So I think in the moment you get caught up in trying to just argue your point and argue your side, and sometimes you forget or you don't always have the right information. However, on the flip side of it, he did have notes when it came to certain things, like with the Kardashians. Honey, he had that list written out of how many people them Kardashians done dated. He went right on down the list. This, that. Some other stuff he talked about he was talking about China, a Black China, how all these cars that people think she was getting, they were leases, and when the relationship was over, the car was over. All kinds of stuff like that. But overall, you guys, I thought it was a good show. I know the last couple of weeks they've been doing live shows, and those shows have been on her Patreon. And you have to be a Patreon subscriber. And she's got a lot of live shows coming up. She's added a few little things too, with doing brunches and things of that nature that look really exciting, really exciting. So anyway, y'all let me know what y'all think. Drop it in them comments. Peace.